If your legs feel softer, your arms a little weaker, it may not be aging at all. In fact, Japan's oldest practicing doctor, who lived past 100 and treated patients into his final year, believed muscle loss after 60 was not inevitable. It was a signal, a quiet request from your body, asking for better care. And when that request is answered, with food, timing, and gentle movement, strength doesn't just stop fading, it returns. Stay with me, because one forgotten Japanese food may help you feel younger from the inside out. After 60, something changes. The arms feel heavier. Standing up takes more effort. Lifting groceries becomes a quiet challenge. But what if that wasn't just getting older? I've spent my life caring for aging bodies, including my own past, age 90. And over the years, I noticed a pattern. The muscles don't vanish by accident. They respond, moment by moment, to small decisions. The good news? These changes can be softened, or even reversed. Let's begin with the first invisible shift inside your muscle cell, where true strength is either built or lost. 1. Insulin and muscle shrink. It often starts quietly. You reach to pick up a bag, and your arms feel softer. You stand from a chair, and notice your legs aren't quite as quick. Most people assume this is just aging, but what I've seen in over 70 years of patient care, and felt in my own body past age 90, is that muscle loss begins not in the gym, but inside the cell. Inside every muscle fiber, there's a gatekeeper, insulin. Think of insulin like a key. Its job is to unlock the door, allowing amino acids, the building blocks of protein, to enter and begin repair work. But after 60, that key starts to rust. The muscle cells become insulin resistant, meaning the door no longer opens properly. So even if you're eating enough protein, much of it never gets inside the muscle to do its job. A study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, Urban et al., 1995, tested this in older men. They found that improving insulin sensitivity restored muscle protein synthesis and directly increased strength in the legs. So, what can you do? Start with breakfast. When we sleep, our bodies naturally shift into a catabolic state, breaking down muscle for energy. If you skip protein in the morning, that process continues. But if you eat 25 to 30 grams of high-quality protein within 1 hour of waking, you help your insulin key turn the lock and get nutrients inside the muscle. Think eggs, Greek yogurt, or a small whey protein shake. Let me share Frank's story. At 71, Frank told me he felt weaker after golf. Not tired, just slower to bounce back. When we reviewed his routine, I saw the pattern. Toast and jam in the morning. No protein until lunch. We made one change. He added 2 boiled eggs and a slice of salmon to his breakfast. Within 3 weeks, he noticed less soreness. Within 6, his swing had more snap. 2. Cortisol breakdown. Some people lose muscle because they don't move enough. Others, they're doing everything right, walking, eating protein, yet their strength keeps slipping. The hidden culprit? Stress. You see, stress doesn't just live in the mind, it lives in the body, and it speaks through a hormone called cortisol. Cortisol is helpful in short bursts. It helps us respond, focus, protect. But when it stays elevated, as it often does in older adults, it becomes like an overzealous demolition crew, tearing down muscle faster than it can rebuild. The body hears we're under threat and diverts energy away from muscle repair, focusing instead on survival. In 2022, researchers led by Yasuda and colleagues published a study in Cell's Journal. They found that even low-level resistance training, when combined with stress reduction, restored muscle strength and function in older adults by calming cortisol's destructive influence. So, what can you do? Start small. Start with rhythm. I often told my patients, a calm body builds better than a tense one. Here's a protocol I've used myself. After each meal, take a gentle 15-minute walk. Each morning and evening, do 5 minutes of slow nasal breathing, in for 4 seconds, out for 6. These shifts help reset your cortisol rhythm and reopen your body's door to repair. Let me tell you about Martha. She was 68, retired, and ate well. But she told me, I feel like I'm shrinking, even though my weight hasn't changed. She also confessed to chronic worry. about her family, her health, the future. We didn't start with weights or supplements. We started with walking after breakfast and a short breathing ritual before bed. After 4 weeks, she told me, I feel taller, not physically, but less compressed, more like myself. Has there been a time when stress made you feel older, in your body, not just your mind? What helped you begin recovering? Movement, breathing, or something else? Share in the comments. Your story might guide someone else. 3. Leucine and mTORC 1. Imagine a light switch in your muscles. When it's flipped on, your body builds strength. When it's off, nothing grows, no matter how hard you try. That switch is called mTORC1, the master signal for muscle protein synthesis. In younger people, it flips on easily. Just a small amount of the amino acid leucine, often found in eggs, fish, or whey, is enough to trigger the repair process. But after 60, that same switch becomes stiff, harder to activate. It's like trying to turn on a lamp with an old sticky switch. You press nothing. You press harder, still no light. The problem isn't you, it's the sensitivity of the switch. According to the Prot Age Study Group, a global team of researchers published in the Journal of the American Medical Directors Association, 2013, older adults need significantly more leucine per meal to trigger this muscle-building response. Their recommendation? 2.5 to 3.5 grams of leucine per meal, roughly equivalent to 3 eggs, 1 scoop of whey protein, or a 4-ounce serving of salmon. But it's not just what you eat, it's when you eat it. To properly stimulate mTORC1, you need that leucine-rich food 3 times a day, spaced evenly, not just one big dose at dinner. Let me share Helen's story. She was 74 and sharp as ever, but said, the stairs feel steeper these days. Her meals were healthy, but light on protein. We started with one simple shift. Every morning, she added a scoop of unflavored whey protein to her tea. That alone delivered nearly 3 grams of leucine. Within 4 weeks, she said, I still take the stairs slowly, but now I don't dread them. 4. Myth. Heavy weights. Espouse. Stronger. Doctor, I know I should lift weights, but I'm afraid I'll hurt myself. I heard this often, and with good reason. Many people believe that to build muscle after 60, you need to lift heavy, big weights, intense reps, gym memberships. Soreness is proof. But here's the truth. That's a myth. What most people don't realize is that muscle doesn't care how heavy the weight is. It cares how deeply the fiber is engaged. Let me explain. As we age, our fast-twitch muscle fibers, the ones responsible for explosive strength, become less dominant. But our slow-twitch fibers, which support endurance and posture, stay active longer. The key isn't brute force. It's controlled stimulation. A 2022 study published by Yasuda et al. In Cell's Journal compared 2 groups of older adults. One group lifted heavy weights, the other used low-load resistance, just 20 to 30% of their max, with slow, controlled reps. After 12 weeks, both groups gained muscle, but the low-load group had fewer injuries, better joint tolerance, and equal or greater strength gains in their legs, up to 26% improvement. Think of it like this. You don't need a hammer to shape stone. Sometimes a steady hand does more than force ever could. I remember a man named David, 69, who came to me frustrated. He'd tried lifting at the gym, but left each session sore, anxious, and exhausted. We switched to slow resistance, chair squats, light bands, isometric holds. Within 6 weeks, he told me, I feel strong again and safe. That's the shift I want for you. 5. Low-load resistance. Once you realize heavy weights aren't required, the question becomes, then what does work? In my later years of practice, and in my own daily habits past age 90, I saw a clear pattern. Muscles don't respond to force as much as they respond to attention. Let's look at what actually works for older adults. As we age, our nervous system changes, recovery slows, joints become less forgiving, and yet, the need for strength only increases to support walking, rising from chairs, or catching yourself during a fall. So, how do we build strength without triggering pain or exhaustion? We slow things down. When you lift with a lighter load, say 20 to 30% of your maximum, but move with deliberate control. You activate type 1 muscle fibers deeply and completely. It's called tempo training, or in some cases, BFR, blood flow restriction, and it creates a powerful response with minimal strain. In the same 2022 study by Yasuda et al., participants using low-load, high-focus training gained up to 26% more leg strength, with better balance and fewer aches compared to traditional routines. It's not flashy, but it's effective. I tell my patients, lifting heavy is like using a power tool. Lifting light, slowly, is like painting with small, steady brush strokes. Carl, a retired teacher I worked with, used to do classic gym routines. He told me, I was chasing numbers, but I felt no progress. So we changed it. Chair squats at half speed. Light resistance bands held for 5 to 10 seconds. 2 sessions a week, no more than 20 minutes each. After just a month, he said, for the first time in years, I feel strong, not sore. 6. Japanese muscle foods. In the West, we often chase power with powder, supplements, protein shakes, performance drinks. But in Japan, strength often comes quietly, through food. One of the great lessons I learned, both as a physician and as a man who lived over 100 years, is this. The foods we eat regularly shape how we age. And when it comes to preserving strength, Japan has a quiet secret. Fermented soy foods. Tofu, miso, natto. They're not flashy, but they're powerful, especially for aging muscle. Let's break this down. Soy-based foods provide complete plant protein, meaning they contain all 9 essential amino acids, including leucine, which we spoke about earlier. But what makes them unique is their anti-inflammatory effect, and the way they support muscle retention without burdening the kidneys or digestion. In 2023, researchers using the JSTAR cohort, a long-term health study in Japan, published findings in the International Journal of Environmental Research and Public Health. They found that seniors who consumed traditional soy foods 3 or more times per week had 15 to 20% less muscle weakness compared to those who didn't. The mechanism? A mix of plant-based leucine isoflavones, which protect muscle from inflammation, and fermented enzymes that improve nutrient absorption. I always told my patients, plant proteins are like silent carpenters. They work slowly, but they never stop repairing. I myself had tofu and miso soup nearly every day, often with a bowl of steamed vegetables and a small scoop of natto. It wasn't about perfection, it was about rhythm. One of my patients, Aya, once asked me, Doctor, is natto really that powerful? I smiled and said, it's not the natto, it's the habit. Strength isn't built in a day, it's invited, slowly, with each bite. We often think strength fades because of age, but what I've learned through decades of medicine and my own walk through the 9th and 10th decades of life is this. Strength doesn't disappear. It simply waits for the right signal to return. Sometimes that signal is a scoop of protein in the morning. Other times, it's a walk after lunch, or a quiet bowl of tofu beside your evening tea. None of it requires youth, only attention, only care. So I'll leave you with a gentle question. Which small shift speaks to your body right now? A slower movement practice, a better breakfast, or something you once loved, ready to return? If this video helped you feel more capable, more informed, or simply more seen, I invite you to subscribe. Here, we build strength not just for the body, but for the years that still belong to you.